Hey guys, I'm back with another comic haul. If the quality looks like it went down a little bit, that's because I'm using my old camera from my older videos. I used it for a while because my other camera is basically broken. So I'm getting a new one soon though. First off, for this week, I picked up my new comics I told you guys about last week, and I have a few back issues, but mostly just these. First off, Daredevil 10, very cool looking issue. I like it. Actually, if you notice, and this is actually terribly set up camera right now. It's really hard to set this one up. Sorry. If you can notice, the Marvel bottom is actually like a pink color, and I think that's just supposed to be thematic with the cover. Or they were low on ink or something. It might have been a defect here that should help out a little bit, hopefully. Sorry. Going on, picked up Flash number 36, trapped in the Savage Speed Force, so he's back in time again. Looks like he's fighting dinosaurs and shit this time. Very cool. Teen Titans number 4, Lego variant cover, Beast Boy. Awesome looking cover. Of course it has that zero issue thing going on cover wise. And number 5, no variation there, but cool looking nonetheless. Looks like there's a new person on that team. Next off, all new X-Men 33, Miles Morales versus original all new X-Men team again. It's kind of cool having like a kid Spider-Man, or not a kid Spider-Man, but a teenager Spider-Man now, with the time jump. A teenager Spider-Man meeting up with our New Earth heroes. Very cool. Especially since these are the 60s heroes, so it's almost like a young Spider-Man and young X-Men. Looks like their feud didn't last long. There's issue 34. Cool looking Miles cover once again. Moving on, Batman and Robin 36, awesome cover. I remember when the solicitations for this came out. Basically, they're all in their special Apocalypse armor. So you could see Tim Drake in his Robin looking uniform, Jason Todd, his Red Hood as in his, and of course Barbara Gordon in hers. Very awesome. Number 37. Another awesome one. Robin Rises Part 5. So, see Batman versus Darkseid. Very cool. Now on to my Batman books. First off, I have 36. Hugely excited for this one. I read Endgame Part 1 and I was hyped. I think this one, a very awesome way to jump off of Zero Year. You can just see Clark Kent with his Joker face and just the reds on it only. That little Sin City looking cover. Very awesome. Next, 37. Elegant Joker cover. His face seems to have grown back, but he's still holding his old mask. Very cool as well. And finally, for my new books, we're on to Amazing Spider-Man. And this is actually part 1 of Spider-Verse, Amazing Spider-Man number 9. Looks like we have Spider-Girl 2099, main Spider-Man. Other Spider-Girl, looks like, or maybe that's Ben Reilly. It's hard to tell from there. Miles Morales and Spider-Woman. Awesome, awesome. And this was a $5 book because it's bigger. And then number 10. And it looks like Oliver Copile took over on arts. I don't know if it's permanent or what. Right now for the Spider-Verse, we're getting slightly darker covers, but that's fine. And finally, Part 3 of Spider-Verse, Amazing Spider-Man 11. Awesome Spider-Rock or Superior Spider-Man and Spider-Man Amazing. And then finally, we got Spider-Man Annual, or the Amazing Spider-Man Annual 1. This is actually the variant edition, it says. I don't know how big of a variant this is, if it's like 1 in 3 or what. But this is a plain Earth Spider-Man. And this one is written and drawn, I would assume, by various artists. Probably a longer one. It's really hard to actually flip the damn page right now. Yeah. But it's a nice little return from the Spider-Verse universe for temporarily is the idea. That's what I read from the solicitations. And for my half-price books and my 3 side issues I got from Source. First off, I picked up Superior Spider-Man number 32. I got this for $2.50, so half off cover price. Of course, as you probably know, this is only a couple month old book. This is actually the intro to Spider-Verse. Like I said, I'm going to try and pick up most of the main Spider-Verse stories, which I think mostly takes place in Amazing. Then I'll go back and buy a bunch. But it's nice to get that Superior Spider-Man jumping off point through this oversized spectacular. So, I mean, for $2.50, happy to get it. Nice, bagged and boarded, and cheap. Next off, some more Spider-Man books. Like I said, if I can get it for under $1, I'll usually pick it up. And this is a Marvel Tales starring Spider-Man number 60. And this, I believe, is a reprint of the first Prowler. This might be a later Prowler, but to Prowl no more, so I'd assume so. And of course, if you know Marvel Tales, basically it's a series that reprints old Amazing Spider-Man stories, or did back in the day. So this was 50 cents. Obviously, it's a reader copy. It's beat up. I actually want to buy the first appearance of Prowler. I do like the character, the Prowler. And next, this one's in better condition, but still has a little stuff on it. So that's number 79, or number 110 from 1979. So this is probably 75 or something. 70 something. Yep, 75. I was absolutely right. Very cool looking issue. Going on to quarters from half price, I got Amazing Spider-Man 354. Anything Amazing Spider-Man usually goes for $1 or $2. And I really liked these covers for Spider-Man, mostly because, as you can see, they look a lot like the old school Spider-Mans, like the 60s ones. So that's why I've always liked these covers from the 90s and the 80s. This one's 1991, but for $0.25. It was weird because they had a lot in this time period for about $1 a piece, which is fine. Then they had this one, and this one's not in bad condition either, so I was confused. But I like this cover a lot, so I'm happy with it. And my final Spider-Man book, Spider-Man 2099 number 1. I don't know if I ever showed it off in a video, but I do actually own this book before in better condition. But it's Spider-Man 2099 number 1 for $0.25, and this is his technical first appearance unless you count his preview, because this issue had a preview book before it came out. So if you count that, that's the first appearance, but this is technically the first appearance of 2099, and for some reason I would call it extremely underpriced. Obviously, it's a common book, but the only reason I call it underpriced is $0.25 seems like it's not much for a first appearance of this caliber. I would say it should be worth probably $3 or $4, or I'm surprised it's not. Not it should. I don't want it to be upvalued, but essentially what I'm saying is I'm surprised it's not worth $3 or $4 just for being a Spider-Man first appearance. But that is that for Spider-Man. Moving on to a few books, just minor books. Dark Reign Hawkeye number 1. Beat up, but for $0.25. And I love Hawkeye. I've always loved Archer characters. I loved Green Arrow. He was kind of the hero that got me into this because basically, I probably said this story before, but basically what happened was I went to Borders bookstore. Obviously, it was a long time ago because it was Borders. No, but it was like 5 years ago, about, or 6 now almost. I don't know. Probably 2007 or 8. I went to Borders and I picked up Showcase Presents. I had half off, so I bought a Showcase Presents Green Arrow because it was a thick book, and I wanted to read a comic book, and basically spiraled into the collecting I've done today. So Archer characters are near and dear to my heart, especially Green Arrow, which is sad that I don't really like the Arrow show because I think it's a little edgy and not all that good in my opinion. But whatever. I know a lot of people do like that show, and I'm fine with that. I just personally, I'm not a huge fan of it. Number 2, him versus Bullseye. Very badass cover. I love these covers so much. And then number 3 of 5. Of course, Hawkeye's one of my first favorite Avengers. And I don't know. I wouldn't mind if he gets a different suit than he has, like more of a Hawkeye suit later on. But doesn't look like that'll ever happen. And honestly, I'm fine with the suit he has now. It just would be cool. Next off, Young Avengers presents Hawkeye 6 of 6. I love this cover. Girl Hawkeye. Which not only is that pretty neat, but background you have all those classic Hawkeye shots. Thumbs up to me. This is an awesome book. Again, a quarter. And this one, unlike those which are in condition, this one's pretty close to mint. Again, so I'm actually probably going to read this one tonight if I can read through my new books. I always read through my new books first. And then Flash 88. Of course, Flash is another character near and dear to my heart. Basically, any character I read those initial showcase presents from, I have a lot of nostalgia towards. Green Arrow, Green Lantern. I think I read Green Arrow, and Green Arrow got me into Green Lantern. Green Lantern got me into Flash. Flash, I read both volumes. I also got Atom on the side. So those 4 characters are really huge influences on the fact I got into comics. And then from there I got into Batman, and then I got more into mainstream and but random origin story of how I got into comics. So this is Flash 88. Cool. I have a lot from this run, of course. Kind of a cheaper run to get. Flash is pretty popular now with the show. Again, Flash, like Arrow, I'm not a huge fan of the show. I think I like the Flash show a little more than I like Arrow. But there's some changes to the show I wouldn't have liked. I wouldn't mind if they introduced Wally West, but they haven't really mentioned him yet or anything. Especially with Barry living with... I've actually watched the show. I've been keeping up with it a little more. I don't want to... I might catch up on Arrow, but I just don't like the show enough. Flash I've been watching basically on Hulu because I have nothing better to do because I'm running low on Netflix shows. But I would like if they introduced Wally West soon. Maybe made him... Maybe not Kid Flash yet, but started planting that seed for later seasons. And maybe they can do some cool stuff with it. I think it's a little different than the normal lore. Then Flash 115. Very cool. I think that's Future Flash or whatever. Catching bullets and stuff. That's really cool cover. Reminds me of the Flash, not hugely, but it reminds me of like the Flash 1 cover where Jay Garrick's catching the bullet by the run through. Flash Comics. Alright, now my final 2 books. Nothing too special. Like I said, this isn't a huge special haul, but I got Magnus Robot Fighter Gold Key. These are always harder to check the numbers on. I'm just going to toss those down. I do love like these Dr. Solar covers and the Magnus Robot Fighters, how they're the painted covers or whatever they do, Cray-Paws or something. So this is a 1972 book, not too new. Number 32. So cool looking book. Very cool, nice looking old school sci-fi. And I like these Gold Key books. I also like how they're really cheap. So, I mean, for 50 cents, I mean, I can see that obviously there's the tear, but it's a early Bronze, late Silver Age book for such a good price. I couldn't pass it up. And finally, Walt Disney Comics. Walt Disney Comics and Stories, 1967, 12-cent issue. Again, it's kind of cool, 50 cents. Christmas, not really Christmas themed, but winter themed, and especially right now, that's cool. Anytime, again, I can find these books cheap. I usually only buy the Silver Age ones, but they're all basically the same, so sometimes I will pick up the other ones. But these are kind of my guilty pleasure. I don't hugely love reading them, obviously, for lore, but because there's no real lore to them. I do like flipping through them, but the main reason I like picking up these Walt Disney comics is I just think all the covers are really fun, you know. They're always really flashy with the base color, and then the top one's just one color. It's just the two color, they're charming to me. I'm not even I like a lot of old cartoons, but I'm not huge into like modern Disney and stuff. Like obviously I'll watch their stuff. Everyone watches Disney stuff, but I really like old animation, like the old Looney Tunes and stuff. So when I can find these comics, they're based on these old animated characters, and especially Uncle Scrooge. I love Uncle Scrooge. I'll pick them up because I just love these old cartoons and stuff. So that's why I picked this up. So that's it for my video, guys. Obviously nothing too special until after Christmas. After Christmas, I plan on. I bought a car now. I've got new car. I bought the Xbox One. So really I need to upgrade my camera. That's next in line. But now I'll be able to actually afford good books on a regular basis again. And be able to pick up my new books all the time. So next comic haul, I do plan on probably waiting a couple weeks and picking up some eBay books. Going hunting. I want to go game hunting and comic hunting, buy some Silver Age comics and some N64 games, because those are really my goals right now for collecting. So, and yeah, that's about it, guys. So, leave a comment on what you thought. Obviously, this wasn't a hugely exciting haul, so I'll probably just write new comics as the tagline or whatever, or just plain haul. So nothing too special, but I think I got some cool stuff, and yeah, so I look forward to seeing all those videos out there and stuff, and I appreciate the watch. So thanks for watching, guys. See you guys around.